Hey, really 157X, this is Jason. I hope you enjoyed our session on Islamic influences in hip-hop. And when I think of those Islamic influences in hip-hop, I often think of the type of hip-hop that we call conscious rap or progressive rap. Because in many ways, those sessions, particularly people like Ice Cube, Brand Nubians, they were rapping, but there was a message in their raps that made me aware of institutional racism, oppression, and other forms of discrimination that occurred in America. And while I got an education in school about math and science and history, there are ways in which these rappers who have Islamic backgrounds, pointed to the racial and economic situations of today, and that they weren't just a matter of people not liking one another because of their differences, but they pointed to this institutional form of racism. And also, they gave us an education on who we really are as black people living in America. A different tone. Instead of slaves, we were known as kings, or the original man, true black gods. And it gave me a sense of self-esteem, a sense of awareness as I walked through the world that I didn't have, that I would not get just by attending school, studying math, science, so on and so forth. I really appreciate those hip-hop artists, particularly people like Ice Cube, who not only talked about stuff that happened in the neighborhood, but also pointed to ways in which we experience racism every day, and how it's coded. Take a look, if you get a chance, at Ice Cube's death certificate, and listen to artists like Brand Nubian, because these artists point to a way to live in the world as African Americans in a country that doesn't necessarily, or didn't necessarily, appreciate us for who we are, what we can contribute to society. Now, when listening to hip-hop that are created by 5%ers, you have to understand that there's a hidden code under the lyrics. What I mean by that is, if you don't understand the supreme alphabet or the supreme mathematics, when you hear a song, you might think it means one thing. Certain phrases they use, you may think that it refers to one thing, but it really refers to something else that they point to, that you can only understand by understanding supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. For example, one of my favorite songs growing up was Method Man, You're All I Need. And there's a line in the song that talks about how he's expressing his love for this woman and desire to be with her. And he says, I'll be your Noah, you could be my earth. And initially, because I didn't understand anything about the mathematics or the alphabet, I thought that it was referring to Noah of the Christian Bible, and I had no clue of what earth meant. But once I understand some of the language that the 5%ers use, I understand that Noah refers to teacher of the truth, and earth refers to woman, or a woman that he's made a commitment to, like a spouse. And after learning more about some of the language and the hidden code underneath the lyrics, I've had to go back and re-listen to a lot of songs that I grew up listening to, and I realize now that there's another message underneath most of these songs. And to understand that message, you almost have to study mathematics and the alphabet. So I encourage you to study, at least pull up on the internet, the supreme mathematics and the supreme alphabet, and go back and listen to those songs by 5%ers, people like Wu-Tang Clan, Brand Nubians, and see if you could decode the message underneath the lyrics. All right, it's been real. I'm glad you hanging out with us today. Peace.